All right, guys. Real quick question. Who is the worst person that you know? Personally. For me, it's my roommate. And I'll tell you why. See, one time I was saving myself a slice of cake for a really bad day. And then I had a bad day, and I came home, and it became an even worse day because I found out he ate it. Another time I was waiting to use the bathroom in the morning so I can get to class, and then just out of nowhere he swoops in and he steals it from me. And of course I was late. Now these are just a few examples, but overall I can conclude that he's not a great person. So why am I telling you this? Because I am trying to set a stage with me as the hero and my roommate as the villain. Now I know that sounds a little strange, but in real life, maybe not to the extent of a hero, we all at least like to be seen as a good person. And that's not strange. In fact, we have a term for that, the self-serving bias, which is exactly what it sounds like. We like to be seen as good, which means we don't like to be seen as bad, which means whenever we do something that is bad, we like to make excuses. See, everything we do, our behavior, has two types of factors behind it. One of these, dispositional, are things that are traits, parts of you, your personality. The other type are situational factors. These are things that happen to you, and this can change your mood, which can change your behavior. Whenever we do something bad, we like to blame it on situational factors. It's an excuse. For example, if I were to fail a test, well, I guess, the test was just too hard or something. We call this the actor-observer effect. On the other hand, if my roommate fails a test, well, he's an idiot. So it's only natural. See, when other people mess up, we like to blame their disposition. We call this the fundamental attribution error. Now, notice I'm calling this an error, because in essence, we're making a wrong assumption. Back to the bathroom example, right? If you really think about it, when he stole the bathroom, he could have had a class that day, and he would have also been late if he didn't use the bathroom at that time. So I blamed his, bad personality when he might have been in a situation where he needed the bathroom. See? So, and you might have already realized this, and you might not have agreed with me when I called him a bad person. And, that's natural. You're not me. You wouldn't understand my feelings. You wouldn't understand where I'm coming from because you're not seeing things from my perspective. And that leads us to the quote of the day. Every villain is the hero of their own story. And it's a nice quote, I like to say it. But I kind of want to nitpick a little bit. See, every villain, in real life, there are never really true villains, No one just goes out there and does bad things for the sake of being evil. There are reasons behind every action. And while you may not agree with these reasons, and sometimes you shouldn't, you should still at least acknowledge that they exist. So I think a better quote, more applicable, would be something like, every person is the hero of their own story. So here's something to consider. As per the self-serving bias, we have this tendency to think that everything that's bad is directed specifically at us, like we're the hero, and there's some sort of magical scriptwriter putting obstacles in your way just to hinder you. When my roommate took the bathroom from me, it felt like he stole it from me, to make me late and to spite me, when in reality, that's just not true. If this thing would work, if life was a stage, then none of us are main characters. We're all, at best, secondary characters. And I know that sounds a little depressing, but it's not that bad. Secondary characters can be as interesting as main characters if you take some time to develop them, give them a good backstory. And that's true in real life. We all have a backstory, a situation, reasons for our actions. And unless you know those reasons, then it's really hard to understand their behavior beyond, oh, they're a bad person. So what can you do? I've already kind of said it. You should try to acknowledge it. The next time someone does something that's upsetting you or something like that, you should remind them that they're probably not doing it to specifically upset you. And there's some sort of reason behind it. You can even try to find out that reason. And maybe you guys can achieve some sort of greater mutual understanding. Now, obviously, we don't have time to understand every situation. A play can only go on for so long, after all. But Remember that while you may not be the hero of life, you still direct your own story, which means that you have a spotlight and you can shine it down wherever you want to focus, whether it be on a person's character or their situation, or hell, even better, both of those things. That much is up to you. Thank you.